Welcome back to the Adapt Collective. My name is Jonas. I am joined by my co-host, Peter Batia.
We're back.
Welcome back, sir. How are we doing on this fine day?
Amazing.
Same.
Episode 5.
Episode 5.
Uh-huh.
You know, with it being the fifth episode, and I'm kind of a stickler on numbers. not too spiritual on that, but I thought we could maybe get into a little bit more Stoic conversations about exercise and nutrition. There's a couple of things that
Which pill is that? Was that the blue or the red pill?
that would be the
Tell me Morpheus.
the red pill.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So, I'd like to start off. I have this is kind of a lot to catch up with the week. I have a friend who he plays basketball. He lives in New York. He casually plays basketball, casual guy. And he does some lifting. Just some guys, sometimes I know, you have friends that don't come to the gym that maybe they hit you up on text. What should they be doing? And they try to follow some sort of routine. And it's just following just a routine, just the numbers on paper can get kind of hard if you don't know kind of like what you're supposed to be doing, how to gauge your intent in the gym.
Kind of like just following some program without knowing the end result or like why, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's just like numbers on paper.
Yeah.
He started from a good place. He went and got his labs done.
Okay.
So, he at least is using some sort of number to make himself motivated. It's not a purely, in this case, it's not an aesthetic necessarily motivation, as he got his numbers back, wasn't quite happy with, where everything was. And now we're looking at his exercise routine, because to be honest, I didn't want to go into like what he's eating and all the other stuff, because that requires more like a day-to-day check-in.
Yeah.
And so, he was literally asking me, he sent me this list of things that he tries to pick away at. And, there was a good amount of weightlifting. There was a good amount of enjoyable cardio. Like he does play basketball casually, so that kind of takes care of his zone too.
So fairly good amount of movement.
Yes. But I feel that, as with where I want the conversation to go, his only kind of preparation mentally before he goes into the session is probably basketball. In other words, he's reflexively better forming intent with that activity, whether it's a zone 2 or running or whatever. That's his sport. And I feel that it's a good kind of segue into how to bring that intent into the gym, because when you go to play basketball, I know
it's fun for him.
Fun, number one. Yeah. Number two, he's running plays in his head. He knows where he wants to shoot from, right? He knows I'm going to do. This is what I usually do. This is what I'm going to try. This is the zones. This is the positions on the court I'm going to be in, right? And then we're talking, and I feel that when people come into the gym, they don't understand, or not just come into the gym, when they're looking for an exercise program for self-improvement, they don't take into account that intent also kind of needs to be there, with or without a trainer.
Yeah. There has to be some passion. I think it's the underlying.
Yeah.
And that's going to drive focus.
Absolutely. At least to come in and like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, what, once we go through a couple of weeks of the exercises, and like you're running through the mix of it. The goal is not just, okay, you come back in and lift these things, and you come back in and lift these things, and come back in. It's like there has to be something kind of running in the background. Like, I'll use the basketball example again, or even a sport where I think the missing element is the fun part, to kind of confuse you into the fact that you're doing something that you otherwise wouldn't want to be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that, because we were talking about this prior to starting today's episode, but, got on Instagram the other day. I had a couple minutes, I was like, all right, let me doom scroll a little bit. But I ran into something that was somewhat impactful, and I'm like, man, this is probably great to talk about. And it goes back to what you're discussing. I have a good friend, right? Her husband, he is the creator of Miami Ice Club. I might be butchering that, but his name is Donato Helbling, and he has quite a few endeavors. He's pretty active in our community. He's done yoga. He's done Budokan, right? You know the
yes.
martial arts kind of yoga,
Yep.
right? He does firearm training. I mean, guy has done quite a bit, right? And he has like this, I wouldn't call it a spiritual class. Right? It's called integrated living, right? And the premises to his course is, right, fulfillment in one's life, right? In finding your own kind of drive, your why revolves around what he calls the 6 fields of human endeavor, right? And a lot of these things, why I hit home is because we do a lot of these things, and here at least at our facility, right? First one is movement, right? So any physical training, right? Second one is nutrition, which we also do, right?
Absolutely.
It goes hand in hand with the movement, right? If you're working out, you then want to fuel correctly and so on, right? After that, rest and recovery, which we also to some capacity do as well.
Yeah, you're juxtaposing his pillars of importance with actually the services.
Correct.
Yeah, that we have.
Correct. Right.
Because he was just providing the pillars. He wasn't like, here's where you go to get this, and
correct.
Here's where you go to get.
And we'll get to this after I go through the 6 fields, but basically they're all interrelated, right? You're not at one or the other, right? It's on a spectrum, right? Then you have mental presence, right? And that's a great one, right? When I think mental presence, I think intent, right? Are you consciously doing what you want to do with what's happening, right, so to speak?
Yep.
Right?
Arnold would call that the mind-muscle connection.
Arnold.
You
have a good Arnold.
Serious.
I can't do it. But yes. Harmony with environment.
I like that one.
What comes to mind to you when you think harmony with environment, really quick?
In a place where you feel supported, a place where your surroundings and where it feels like home. Obviously, community is a lot.
It feels good, right?
Yeah,
like your gut. I feel like it's gut. Like you walk in and it's like, all right,
the gut feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's directly connected to the brain. But the reflex that you're in a good place. You hopefully want it to be good.
Yeah,
nurturing. Yeah.
I also think like harmony with environment. When I talk to clients, it's like, okay, do you have that feeling when you walk in here, wherever it is, whatever activity that we're talking about?
Yeah.
Right. And is it convenient to you?
That's an interesting one too.
We can get into that.
Yeah.
And then what you first alluded to, fun.
Having fun. Absolutely.
F-U-N.
Yep.
And that's it, so to speak. That's the icing on the cake, right? Because like you said, right, here's somebody that you're working with that seems like they have poured into all these different buckets, but is probably missing that it when it comes to fulfilling his movement.
Yeah.
Or the nutrition. Like he can't continue filling that bucket because it's just not as fun him doing that movement or that nutrition the way he views that basketball activity.
Yeah. That's where we got to find some objective kind of connection with fun, and not feel that the gym is some sort of a punishment or somewhere where you have to go because you're band-aiding a bad behavior or something. And I think that having fun, different people are gonna have. I think people think of it as like haphazardly, like being clumsy and not taking anything serious, and that's not what we're talking about. I'm not talking about coming into the gym and just acting like a
buffoon.
So there has to kind of be like a switch in the wiring, because if you're the type of person that's on some sort of I don't want to use the word pain pleasure or what's the word I'm looking for?
Gratification, like instant gratification.
Yeah, you behave bad out of the gym and then you come in to pay for it. You behave bad out of the gym and then you come praise and blame kind of thing. Like I need this.
You come to the gym to repent for your sins, so to speak.
Yeah, no, it's like isn't being fit fun, or like can't you just kind of use your imagination to find when you would use this, where the utility is in this, or I
There's
don't know.
no association with. All right, it's like you said, like there, you can't see the gym as a glass half full kind of situation, and take away some of the lessons, the intangible lessons. Like, yes, okay, you're doing bench press, I'm gonna get my upper body strong, and so on and so on. But it's the like the discipline, those other.
If we're playing basketball together, you invite me out for a game, and I just get there with the attitude of like, okay, I'm here. You'd be like, yo, dude, you are not getting the ball right now. I am not. Okay, look, we're not going to pass it to this guy. Don't you're coming into the gym to get stuck under heavy weight. Shout out to Marcus over there. Yeah, a little visitor. You get stuck under heavy weight to see, if you're going to fail, to test the waters of. You wouldn't do that stuff in real life. You're not going to jump under a falling bag from the top shelf of the grocery store to see if you can lift it. Here is where, like, at least that's fun. Not obviously not, like I said, not haphazardly, but you should be curious as to what's going to happen. When this gets past the point of me being, past the point of being comfortable, lifting where I was before. Obviously, I'm not saying being haphazard, but. There has to be some sort of realm. Like I'll put it to you this way. I enjoy being strong when I go do sparring. I enjoy being a little bit stronger so I could, just kind of take the pressure a little bit more. Yeah. That to me is kind of fun.
That gets you through the hard part of doing that movement training.
Yeah, I just put some accountability on it. That's fun. Yeah. Timing myself, how quickly I can get back up the stairs at my apartment is sometimes fun. Getting down, it just requires a little bit of, I feel, creative thinking and I don't know if people think they deserve to have this much fun in the day with like fitness stuff and make a game out of it, but it's really once you get higher up on the mountain, or if we're looking at it as a triangle, once you get to as far as level of fitness, I think once the higher you get on the pinnacle, you're going to have to step up kind of your approach because of you're already consistent.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not so much motivated, but this is where you really got to put some more merit.
Yeah. And it's very different having fun, I guess, from a beginner standpoint. Somebody's like, this is a new environment.
Yeah,
coming into the gym.
Yeah, you see changes quicker. Absolutely, yeah. You see changes quicker. You're doing something new, so like your dopamine is high, and then it just kind of at some point maybe. I don't know.
It's a double-sided kind of street.
Not everybody. I mean, it's
but it's a double-sided street regardless of what athlete level you are, right? Because okay, in the beginning, right? Let's say we're talking about somebody that is here because they ultimately have to lose weight. They might have some metabolic issues, right? They might have some other funky stuff happening, right? And this is not necessarily something that they don't have the motivation or the discipline or maybe they do, right, to some capacity, but it's not like they're not going to see the fun necessarily, right? So from their standpoint, they have to be somewhat open of like, hey, let me give it some time, right? Let me, think of it more so of like, all right, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to sweat, and it's going to suck, and, like, right?
Yeah.
Just give it a step back, right? And then from other standpoint, from our standpoint, it's like, hey, from a trainer standpoint, hey, we really need to work at like making this engaging and intentful and finding that gap, right? Where this person is going to ultimately see beyond like those physical attributes of, hey, I'm going to get stronger and so on and so on. It's like, hey, you're going to get stronger and this is going to allow you to enjoy more time with your kids, or you're going to have a prolonged life, or whatever the case may be, right? Where then that realization starts setting into play and you're like, okay, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I think this gets into, people that are listening, they're like, you know what? I lift weights, and that's I don't have much of a problem doing that. But like as in my friend's case, he's not doing enough conditioning, and this is really where I feel like, okay, well, how the hell am I going to have fun if I'm just doing? Because sometimes I'll give clients stuff just to kind of, I know they just want to get like tired before they walk out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, close your eyes and just get them tired, But how do you take that concept and like spread that out into like a 20-minute session, where a conditioning session where you have to explain to the person that getting their breathing organized is going to be this thing, being okay for this long, if we're going to do, like, for example, and not necessarily I give this to everyone, like a 1 hour row for calories, where you're trying to, like a tester, or like a 300 calorie bike tester.
You're definitely not going to give that to a beginner.
No, but no, exactly. But I'm going to give them intervals or variations to kind of build their capacity to be able to eventually maybe do a fraction of that, or at least get a number where we could one day do that. And it's not just going to be rooted in put your head down and see how long you could suffer. You are going to have good breathing, good breathing mechanics. You're going to have good,
there's going to be mental presence.
Absolutely. There's going to be mental presence. You can't check out. You can't start.
There's intent.
It's like this scene in Fight Club when Edward Norton, Brad Pitt's character, pours a peroxide on a chemical burn on Edward Norton, and he's holding his hand there, and Edward Norton's like, go to your happy place, and Brad Pitt slaps him across the face and goes, no, right, stay here. This is how you progress.
Yeah.
I love that.
Such a great scene.
Yeah, and I think that I was just like, when I saw that, props to David Fincher, I was like, that explains exactly where a person has to be in a nutshell. I have had a couple of the benefit of working with, some people in the FBI. I won't name names, but I saw this one woman, and then the famous Barbara Walsit, not Barbara Walters, the famous Barbara Walsit. She comes in after this. We were doing a CrossFit workout of overhead squats and running. She was doing, I think the RX for men was 95, so she would do that. Small frame woman, ripped, a Polish woman, and worked for the local branch FBI at the time. And right after that, it was a weighted wall sit, a 5-minute weighted wall sit immediately after for the finisher. Brutal. So you come in from the run, take as much time as you want to rest, but then sit down and do a weighted wall sit. She came in off the last run, way ahead of everybody, got on the wall, put the 45-pound plate in her lap, got parallel. And then I'm like, okay, she's on the wall.
She's gonna crush this.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was about to witness. I had no idea. I went back out to the class. I was like encouraged, seeing where the group was. I come back in and I notice up at the clock she's sitting there, and there's like not much time left. And I was about to be like, give her some encouragement. And then I looked at her. I'm like, no, she's got this. And I was like, she got off the wall at the 5-minute mark. I'm like, how did you do that? I was like, what? Oh my God.
What'd she say?
She's like, everything ends, dude. She had a list, and she's like, dude, everything ends. I was like, that was amazing.
Wow.
But like that, she had to have been, she was in the moment. What I'm trying to express is that she did not check out. And I've seen it in person. So there I'm trying to translate and get that out to my other clients, because it's so possible to do that.
Well, and we see it where people don't even check in.
No, right.
It's exactly what this is what we're really trying to talk about. It's like people don't even check in, let alone they're already checked out by the time they walk into these doors. And it's like, if you can just be in the moment for just 1 hour or whatever. I mean, and we talked about it last episode. It was like, even if it's 20, 30 minutes, just making that the intent, right?
What am I doing? These movements, I recognize this movement before. This is how I performed last time when I did this. It's, here were the bullet points of where I was going and kind of what I was doing. Just like, I went over here. I shot the shot from here. It hit the rim. I had to make an adjustment. I wasn't following through. Right? And that's just, it's tough. Shout out to the people who do it well, and don't take it for granted that you come in and you are focused and you are coachable, which is a great word. Yeah. So we appreciate you. Yes. Very much so.
But it's not always like that.
No,
right?
They had to build that. They had to develop that. So congrats to them.
We're constantly working with individuals, right, who might be missing, right, or need to learn at one of these fields a little bit more.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And that's what we're here as coaches, as trainers, to do, right?
Correct.
For oftentimes, right, yes, we are physically training, right? We're doing the movement aspect.
Yep.
But oftentimes, we continuously have to peel the layers off that onion, and we find that the other aspects, the nutrition, the recovery, the mental presence,
Yeah.
right, the intent, as we like to call it, right, the harmony with environment, right, the for me it's consistency. For you it was the gut feeling of this is the right place, and the fun
Yep.
need some work, right?
You know, absolutely.
And at that point, right, you really need to do your due diligence of like, I would say the fun is the most important one in that list, right? Because from there, if you're having fun, you're gonna want to be more consistent. It's gonna feel right?
Yep.
You're gonna want to be more checked in, intentful, right? You're gonna want to do your due diligence from a nutrition and movement standpoint because you want to be prepared.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
And then by default, you want to recover so that way, day in and day out, you can consistently do it. And now you have the discipline to continuously work at this.
I have a lot of respect, as you know, for coaches that coach professional teams and top tier level teams and combat sport athletes. And, you know, I kind of underestimated how much of the psychological component of when you deal with this general population and people, where there's no intent of like once you take the team sport away and the camaraderie in the weight room and all of that, and now you're dealing with somebody's
individual.
Yes, I did not expect to have to master that portion as a personal trainer. You know, it's not
taught.
No, it is not, and I don't think it's not. You know, sometimes it's more than just the annual salary that I envy of the people who coach professional teams, because you don't have to deal with the whys. You don't have to deal with I didn't get a good sleep last night or this and that. Like, yo, you are playing. If you are not here, there's someone else that's going to play your position. Next. We are on a schedule. Let's get you good.
Yeah.
You know, there's no. You know, hey, coach, you know, I wrote a good route today. Why don't we do this? Oh, I hate the pass option. Oh, I got to pull again? Oh, I'm weak side. We're going that again? Like, yeah, we're going to run this. And I feel that they often don't have to get into some of the deeper Stoic layers of the human population. Yeah, the people that make up the numbers of gym goers that need these services, that need the advice of nutrition, that need to recover, that need to, okay, what is this Instagram guru's 6 pillars of, that he wants me to follow? Because there's a lot of people, look, here are the foundations of being healthy, and here are the branches of that, and here's where I kind of want you to focus on. But then it's like they kind of leave you in the dark. Okay, you know, where are you going to go? Yeah, buy a cold plunge and have at it, or here, buy weights for your garage and lift them. Yeah. And then I feel it leaves a lot to be said about how you're going to have fun with it and how you're going to find an environment that's going to allow you to even try these services.
Yeah. What advice would you give to somebody that is looking to get started in this type of environment and
like come into the gym?
Yes,
getting into the gym.
Yeah, what are you looking for in terms of that environment?
Well,
because gyms are a dime and a dozen, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, if if you're not listening to us, if you're listening to us and you're not from the area, right? Miami is saturated with gyms.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
In a 5-mile radius,
yep,
we have like 10 gyms close to us.
Yep.
Right. So, what's gonna set you apart, or what from our standpoint, right, or from the consumer standpoint, what's gonna set that facility apart and make me want to join you?
Well,
or like, what should I look for as a consumer?
Well, there's so much stuff. What advice would I have?
Advice.
I would say go like inclusiveness. I would say it's a lot better nowadays with the access of all the information that we can get. Usually, I've found this in other service areas that when I try to piecemeal my plan together with, I'll like obsess and do, if I want to put together a car, I'm going to go and piecemeal, where am I going to get the engine and where am I going to get the body and I'm not going to go to one place that has it all. And if I'm a first-time car buyer, why would I piecemeal a car together? So
Yeah.
I think,
especially if you don't know about all those
yes,
nuances.
don't go down the wormholes of the Instagram illusion of service. Like someone's talking about recovery, they're giving you a cold plunge regimen. You're going to go buy a cold plunge from the apartment for your house, and you're going to do this. So this guy's the food thing. So now I'm going to drive to the farmer's market. I have no idea how I'm going to count my calories or anything, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do. And they piecemeal this thing together, and it's kind of like a running anxiety, and it's the sure foot like. You're not going to achieve what you want to achieve. You're just going to create an anxiety.
Well, and that protocol is the end-all be-all, so to speak.
Yes, because it's too much. We're trying to get rid of the instant gratification. We're trying to get you in the beginning, okay, great. It might feel great to lock into all these subscriptions. You're on your phone. That's gonna produce some dopamine on its own.
Instant motivation.
Yes, and as soon as that is gone, we're gonna have to. There's no getting back. There's no getting away from. You got to be motivated. You have to be having fun. Some of our mantras.
Core values.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun, motivated, and united.
So just like we're here for a reason. The gyms around Miami, as saturated as it is, they are there for a reason because people actually care about what it is that they're doing.
Yeah.
And the places that have it all, or the people that put value on having it all and offering that, I feel you should trust those places first before you start going out and trying to do it. Like here,
these specialized locations. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So the more services they have, the better. I mean, depending on where you are.
It's a more holistic approach, so to speak, right?
Yeah. So because you want to try. Yes, you want to try out the road of wellness. Like I want to get in my friend's case, he's getting his levels. He got his levels checked. Now he needs an exercise routine. Now he's going to need nutrition on it, and now he's going to need to get soft tissue manipulation. Now he's going to get massage. Now he's going to need to get. And I always say, it always comes out on my text. I can show you the text. It's always like, too bad you don't live in North Miami, because it's not like
if you're piecing it together, it's like, man, I got to go drive over here and drive over there, and it adds a stress that takes away from the fun aspect where it's like
it's not convenient.
Fine, and that's that kind of interrelated web, so to speak, where there's these places.
If it's not convenient, you're not going to do it. Mm-hmm. That is where
the harmony.
Yeah. I don't want convenience to be like, you know what? Even I have driven across town to do something.
That's why Amazon is so great.
Exactly.
Right. That's why they've excelled. Right?
Yes.
You can get something. You see items that you can get at Home Depot or a
brick and mortar is suffering. Yeah, brick and mortar retail is suffering because of convenience.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear that fitness and recovery offered as a service doesn't have inconvenience tagged to it.
And then ultimately that convenience leads to it being fun, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Because now all these interrelated aspects have formed a community of like-minded individuals that's inspiring. The fact that like I could be next to somebody, right, in a completely different hemisphere, right, from maybe social standings or from whatever the case may be. But the fact that we're on the same wavelength in terms of like, all right, I'm looking to pour into all these different buckets, that's inspiring. I was like, I want to kind of now keep coming.
Yeah.
Right? You might be with a barbell 135 pounds, and I just might be Joe Schmo with just like, hey, these are my dumbbells right here. But that's going to keep me going because, all right, I see how much you're placing that importance into your overall kind of hierarchy of wellness that encapsulates that the movement, the nutrition, the recovery, the mental presence, intent, right, and so on and so on.
Yeah,
right?
These used to be like the secrets of the pros. Like you'd see like the old films of Olympia, and I'm going to use Arnold again because that was the golden era of it. Like he was the people were seeking out the knowledge, and he was doing the AM sessions and then going to sit in the sun and then getting in the cold water and then coming back. And so that information was not out there. Like he had to do all of that research and figure out, okay, what best recovery and stuff, what best recovery methods are going to use. And it's now that it's all in a
it's all bundled for you now. So
yeah,
to speak, like nice and gift wrap.
That should be it should be like, you know what, my shoulder doesn't hurt anymore. Now I'm excited to play tennis on Saturday. That's fun. Me being able to kick this guy's ass out, that there's nothing more fun than that. you know what? I'm gonna try hitting off of my non-dominant arm. My backhand really sucks. I'm gonna, you know what? What if I only do backhand today, and then I'm just gonna talk shit on the net
I
to this
served
guy.
you with just my pure backhand.
Yeah, I used to, part of growing up down here, and I would play beach volleyball at Newport a lot in high school. Well, I went to North Miami Beach, home of the Chargers. I'm gonna get shit from my North Miami friends too.
It's all right.
Pioneers. I used to I'd go play volleyball. It was fun, but I used to love just the talking S at the net. That was fun to me. How am I gonna rattle this guy?
Yeah.
And I remember not thinking about we were pretty good, but I remember just being like, you know what, that to me made it like I'll be there. I have to be there.
Fair.
Yeah.
I think if you find a community where you can get all these things and then get that camaraderie.
Yeah, that's key. And consistency, right?
Yeah.
And convenience. And we I don't know if
We fortunately have that here.
Yeah, I think
we're fortunate enough.
We don't talk about recharge enough. I don't feel that as far as people getting it in routine, like as they should. Because it's once a week I have someone that's like, oh, hey, that thing we did, and I went and I tried to fix my sink, and I was down there for too long, and I tweaked my shoulder. Like, I'm gonna rest. What should I do? Like, well, you don't have to do this. Like, come here and get this done.
Yeah. Pour into that other bucket.
100%.
Yeah. It's just we're easy to like pour into that movement, that physical training bucket, and that bucket overflows, and something's gonna have to give. Right. We've talked about it in previous episodes. You know, I'm a car guy. You know, I treat myself like a sports car. Right. Go get your work on.
Yeah,
right?
When you talk to someone else in the gym, your only job can't just be to make it there at the time you're supposed to be there. It can't just be like, okay, yeah, I just come here and he kills me and like that's it. Don't be that guy.
Mm-mm.
Don't be that woman. Oh yeah, I just come. I don't know what I'm doing. My trainer, like, oh my God, this is, it's like, yeah, okay. We want to know if we're doing an audit on a client. Like, I want to know, do you know what hot and cold does to your body? Do you know what sleep is supposed to be doing? Do you know what drinking too much is going to be?
And
doing?
it's okay if you don't.
Yeah, no, it's
But
okay
at
that
least
you don't. Don't just be the person. Don't just be like, yeah, I come here at the time and like that's all I know.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what I'm doing.
Don't treat it like a checkbox.
No.
Because that's okay. Yeah, you might be checking in, but you really aren't checking in.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to get a goal on it. The goal just can't be, okay, arrive here at the time and then just suffer, because that's not fun. I mean, I don't have fun. It has to be fun for us, doesn't it?
It does. Oftentimes, and listen, we are always open to working with multiple clients, but it makes us as trainers, right? When you are open to learning beyond that movement bucket, right? Because a lot of us, like, we know our anatomy, we know movement, biomechanics, right? We work at this constantly, every day in, day out. But when we can help you in these other aspects, and to some capacity, I'm not saying that I'm not a dietitian by no means, right? But I've worked with enough clients to tell you, hey, these are some good guidelines from a nutritional standpoint, and with that, hey, that's a good amount of skill set and toolbox.
That's fair,
right?
Yep.
We want to be able to. Most of us, it feels gratifying when we can help you beyond that movement bucket.
I completely agree.
Right? And some of us are better at some other, like I come from a recovery background as well, right? I'm a movement practitioner first and foremost, but I do have specialization in that recovery kind of bucket. And when I can also help you in that realm too, right? One, I'm providing you more value, but it's two, I can see it when it's like that light bulb moment. You've helped that client more than just the movement. I was like, oh, all right, we got a good workout, but I also did some recovery stuff. I was like, yo, I'm walking out of here better than when I walked in.
Right. No, exactly.
You're like, whoa.
So like
for us,
it's monumental. Like, because we're with the people. We're with people enough to notice, okay, this is how they move. This is what's going to happen when they do X, Y, Z. And sometimes, like, I'll notice something's happening, whatever part of the body that pops up on during movement, something's not jiving, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to give this person some exercises to help kind of fix what's going on. I don't necessarily want to have a 20-minute conversation with the person to point them out. I want to look, here's a move I want you to do. I want you to try to do X, Y, Z. And most of the time, when they do it, I'm like, okay, good. I fixed that issue. They have the ability. But when we get stonewalled with, I'm like, hey, do you feel that you are clenching your fists right there? And the person tells me no. Then we have to go back to, okay, do you even feel your hands at all during this move? Do you feel what you're – I'm just using the hands arbitrarily. Yeah. But those are the two roads. So I'm giving somebody a move, outside of, okay, we have our strength moves. Now we're going to do some, all right, I want to kind of fix your overall, more global movement pattern stuff. And I notice something, and then it requires, I'm like, hey, do you feel that you're doing that? And this is where the crossroads happens. like the chart. If yes, then no, okay.
Then this.
Yeah.
If no.
Yeah. And I look at them, and I'm like, tell me the truth, not what you want me to hear. And it's so important that I'm like, okay, I can tell when they're just like, yeah, I feel. I'm like, no, you don't.
I've been doing this too long.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, okay, well, now let's kind of go in this route. And that's where the person needs to be having fun with this new discovery. Like, and I don't know, this is where I try to tell people, like, you should be happy that you discovered this. This should make you happy that you found this discovery on your body, because we're
learned.
Yeah, that you learn, because it's like it could get so monotonous. Like, okay,
got empowered.
Yeah, there's some moves let me tell you something. There are moves. There's no secret on what moves work. Like, what barbell movements work, what dumbbell movements work. Like, so we're going to be doing those movements all the time, right? So if that is going to bore the average person if we don't throw in these other nuances in there. Like, hey, did you know? I know you don't think you're Michael Jordan, right? Do you think you're Michael Jordan? Okay, no. Well, then you maybe your layup doesn't look so good. Maybe you're a left-handed layup. You play tennis or water ski or do whatever, and so what gives you problems, or you do jiu-jitsu, or like okay, yeah, my arm bar on my left side doesn't feel as good because I know exactly what's happening at my hip, and it's always felt like that. In the gym, I could do things where I'm like, oh, that's what I have to do isometrically to
try to make that connection.
Yeah. And of course, hobbies and fun, but yeah, that now we're getting back into it. But man, it was. What do we have going on at Adapt this month? What do we have going on? Do you want to hit us with some announcements?
It is human complexities it's complex.
Yeah.
And therefore, by default, our coaching is a complex kind of scenario. Just kind of recapping that. Find a place that is convenient and has a lot of these things that you can pour into, right? Or that you can learn from.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And that will make it fun. And if it's fun, you will continue to do so. Before we get to announcements, really quick, hot tips.
Hot tips.
Hot tips.
Hot tips.
Caliente.
Did it? You flagged me down in the gym, on the gym floor, on the Adapt gym floor the other day. You're like, I know what a hot tip is,
dude.
And
I know, because it's just. Can I go first then?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I'm working out.
Yep.
Right, and it was just I don't really get bothered, while I'm working out. Like I'm open to talking to members and whatnot. But I was kind of in a rush to work out, and I didn't have much time. I got in late. It was one of those mornings, right? And
the trials and tribulations of the trainer.
And I'm trying to get my workout in, and that's fine. Oftentimes, listen, there's none of us. We work with each other. Like, hey, oh, you're using that bench? All right, cool. Can I hop in with you? Whatever the case may be.
Right.
My pet peeve, or my hot tip is
tips.
Don't be a bench warmer.
Oh, elaborate on that.
It is literally.
All right.
It is as literal as it gets. Don't be a bench warmer.
Bench warmer. So that would be so. If I'm a bench warmer, I am not playing the game. I'm not getting in.
You're not doing anything.
Is my helmet on?
You might not even have a helmet.
Oh no.
You might not even have a helmet, right?
So what was this person just sitting around?
So whatever. I was doing some incline bench.
Yep.
And I was, being time efficient, right?
Yep.
So I was doing a push, pull, type of situation and through some core, just kind of get a metabolic,
All
kind
right.
of like get the sweat going at the same. It was really upper body focused, right?
Okay,
But I
yep.
was like, all right, let's really maximize my time, right?
Yep.
And what I noticed is somebody came in, which I don't mind. They're on the bench, and I see them on the bench, and they had their weights on the floor, but then they're not doing anything.
Oof.
They're on the phone.
Ugh.
And so I come over and I'm like, hey man, no need to bother, but like, can I hop in on like a set? Like, I didn't say that he wasn't working, but I was like, can I hop in on a set?
Right.
All the other benches, on the other benches, people were actually working,
Right.
but they're not moving.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I just got here. I got 4 more sets.
Oh.
And I'm like,
This is gym etiquette.
I'm
I
like-
actually love the fact that there is actual. I love the gym etiquette and the gym lore.
I'm like, listen, I couldn't even wait to tell like here in the episode of like my hot tip. I came up to Jonas. I'm like, yo, I know exactly what I'm
Oh
going
my
to talk
God.
about today.
Oh, that was that day.
That was that day. I
Oh
was
my
like, bro,
God.
I was like, yo, guys, do not hog the machine,
Ugh.
especially to be on the phone and check the socials,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of pros to why you should not be a bench warmer or actively recover or do something else.
Yeah.
Right? Like-
Get a little bit more. Yeah. Well, that
I
just
can't
goes
prepare for
into-
you. I can't prepare for you because I was like, all right, let
Yeah,
me look.
That person needs a partner. That person needs a
Yeah,
workout
you need-
buddy. You need someone.
You need
to,
somebody to like, yo, let's go. You've been sitting on the bench for too long. Like move. Like grab some weight. Like I don't know, do something. Like
yeah, that's aggravating because because if the gyms, especially when the gym's not that full and there's one person that's kind of keeping the pace of the room down, like that kind of blows.
well, and if it is full, be mindful, mentally present
yeah,
of like, hey, the fact of like it's not your bench, right? It is the community's bench.
Correct.
And like, let me just hop in and get a set, or don't tell me, hey, I got 4 more sets, then you can use it. I was like, man, you're not even working right
yeah.
now.
I don't want to if I'm doing like if you're at the track and there's somebody like walking, or
But you
like
stay to the right.
I don't even know if I don't even know if people casually walk on a track like that where
People
they're
do, but like then
they don't
still
hog up the sprinting lanes though.
Exactly.
Right.
There's
yeah.
some.
They're on the grass or something. They're not in a lane.
So, if I'm this person, right? A, pick the weight up and do the thing, right? B, if you just finished your set, obviously move around, right? It might behoove you to, rather than stay stagnant, right? Okay, there's a point, right? There's an intent to actually passively resting, meaning not doing anything. But you can not do anything and not hog the equipment, right? Like
Yeah,
you
hey,
can
I'm gonna-
actively rest by just like standing around, shaking off the arms, right? That'll help actually buffer some of that lactic.
Well, he sees
Pressure.
he sees you coming back, right? He's like, you know what? I'm gonna.
I don't think he saw me. Like I had I was doing a little bit of a circuit, so like in his defense, like he didn't. You know,
If he
I didn't
was
have a towel on it, like
if he was lifting heavy enough, he should not be on it. I mean, ideally, I know life happens. I'm kind of getting away from it. Like, okay, granted, he wasn't green lighting the next hit script that we're going to see, Blockbuster. If you're lifting heavy enough, you should not be on the phone because you should be focusing on
catching your breath.
catching your breath,
Yeah.
how you're getting the weight up, completing the reps, maybe going heavier, and that should be so hyper focused because, I mean, I've seen people with that, they cure their ADHD real quick when you put them under a one rep max.
On the heavy load.
Yeah, you have to. They've
can't-
almost never.
You can't be
focused.
checked out.
No. You have to focus. You need to
Their
do.
eyes light up like.
yeah. Oh wait, I can't check out right here. Like no,
Whoa.
you were gonna get crushed, my
You're
friend.
not gonna help.
100%.
So yeah, I'm gonna help, but you're gonna do this.
Be off the phone.
Yeah.
That's too easy to kind of say, but yeah.
Get off the equipment, right? If you're not doing a set, think of it like maybe I'm trying to be half glass full, or right?
Yeah.
And there's something to be said of like, hey, if you're gonna be passively resting, that's fine, but if you're not, do something active that's gonna help you in terms of recovery. Because if you move a little bit more, right, that's gonna prevent that kind of like that, once again, that heavy onset of muscle soreness that's gonna come if you are lifting heavy weight. I got a couple more like faster autonomic and cardiovascular recovery, right?
That it's back to the guy on the phone and even phone in general. And I've heard this on another great podcast. They were talking about just cortisol levels throughout the day and how to kind of trick cortisol levels like you would kind of hack insulin. You know, like, okay, I'm going to work out and then I'm going to eat most of my sweets or my carbs now just to kind of, so I'm going to use my insulin.
Right as you're...
Correct.
You're
so,
working out.
yeah. So they were talking about, okay, you're on the phone. The phone is a dopamine generator. And then it's also going to produce, if you're in a stressful conversation or if you're looking at stock ticker, you're looking at Instagram, you're doing a doom scroll, that if you're in the gym, you should be moving. You should not be, because the real conversation was when people are outside of the gym and they're on their phone and they get, either they make a purchase or do whatever, as soon as you get that dopamine spike, drop and do something strenuous. As soon as you get that, you're angry at the person writing to you, drop and do the push-ups or the squats or do something to where you're burning into a strain, because for later, when you try to go to sleep, that daily accumulation of matching dopamine and cortisol with effort is going to pay off in the long run. It's like, how do I maximize the dosage of this stuff here? Yeah. So if you're in the gym and you're on the phone, you're kind of like...
You don't see it. You're acquiring dopamine. You're acquiring...
Absolutely. You're
like
getting mixed...
Yeah, you're getting... Dopamine is stress.
You're looking at that screen.
And you're not letting it go.
Correct. And you're
just bottled up, and now you're wondering why it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and you're...
Yeah. If I have two vials of hormones here, I have growth, IGF-1, and I have cortisol, and I'm going to be the one administering to you'll be like, don't give me the cortisol stuff. I'm like, okay, well, you're looking at the phone. Here's a little, you have to take a little cortisol, a little bit of this. Oh, here's some sugar because your dopamine just spiked. You'd be like, no, dude, give me all of the IGF-1. It's like, well, then get off your phone.
Get off your phone. Yep.
So that would be my hot tip. I like that. I like piggybacking on your hot tip on that one, because that's important, like staying off the phone, because I know I try to squeeze
back
it in.
To that intent, man.
Yeah,
intent.
Absolutely.
Intent. You have an hour. Give us an hour.
Yeah.
Give yourself an hour.
Yep.
Honestly. Okay, cool. So facility announcements. It is November, and with November, right? We spoke about it. We have Give Miami right around the corner, November 20th.
Nice.
Give Miami, and I did not do it a solid last episode, but I wanted to come prepared, right? Give Miami. Basically, it helps make the vital work of nonprofits possible. We have 100% of donations being received, being unrestricted on that day. And so it is a very important day for us because we do have our very own nonprofits, that foundation. The foundation provides scholarships to under-resourced youth. We provide them access to a lot of those aspects that we spoke about today, the movement, the nutrition, the recovery, right? Our coaches are constantly working and making sure they're mentally present when they're here and off their phones. We give them a harmonized place where they can be free to express themselves creatively, right? And they try to make it as fun as possible, depending on their age, some games, right? Some, sports, right? So it is a very important day. Any donation that you can make will help tremendously, right?
Nice.
And then the other thing that we have is our turkey bowl, right? Obviously, it's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving morning, we've been doing this. I mean, I've lost count how many times we've already done this. Yep. It is our annual turkey bowl. Basically, our gym is closed on that day. And so what we do is we meet at Miami Shores Recreational Park. By all means, come by. We provide a free fitness class out in the open. Hopefully, the weather has always been nice, crisp. But basically...
There a price for that? People can bring whoever?
It's free for the class, right? Obviously, we take donations, right? One thing that we do is, like, you can whether maybe bring donations, like monetarily, or if you wanted to, you can bring canned goods. Those canned goods go towards feeding South Florida. So it's also another good cause. And if you want to partake in the flag football, which we have, right? It's a nominal fee. Don't mark me. Come by that day. It's like $10. Don't mark me. Don't quote me on that.
But show up. We have football, fitness class. Yeah. We'll all be there.
Exactly. Outside of that, I mean, there's always a lot of things happening. You mentioned recovery.
Yeah. How does how does someone get
saw you
going
the
with recharge? Does someone just walk in to
I saw you
recharge?
the other day getting it. You were coming out, and you can always tell people are getting massage because they come out. They're like,
Oh man, fantastic.
they're like, it's like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
You're almost like floating, and the lights hit you, and you're like, oh man. Woo.
Oh man, yeah. My favorite time is when I ask if the masseuses have free time, and then when they say yeah, oh my god, it's music
Money.
to my ears.
Money.
So
yeah,
you can't just
busy.
walk in there.
I
Very
mean,
busy.
You know, like you might get lucky, right? Usually it's appointment based.
I'm scared to tell people how good my masseuse is because then
Like,
they get booked. Yeah, but then they get booked, and then I don't get any time.
It happens.
It does happen.
It happens. But
It happened with you. You don't.
But you make it a priority to still. You make it.
You don't touch me anymore.
Oh boy. I'm gonna hear about that one later.
Completely professional.
Important. You
Bro,
know.
hold on 1 second. I want to just talk to kudos to you because as soon as I was like, yeah, I had a great masseuse before I met you, and then when I found out you were a masseuse, I'm like, you know what? Let me try. I forget who said, yeah, I've been with Peter, and you did like this one technique to my lats and my glutes. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's the guy.
I think I remember that moment.
Yeah,
like,
man.
You're gonna work on me more.
Oh my gosh, yeah, fantastic. But yeah, so what? The people go to the front desk here.
Go by front desk and get some more information. We do have massage memberships and we have stretch memberships. Stretch membership is $78 and you get 2 30-minute sessions, stretch sessions, and then the massage membership is 1 hour a month, and it's $95.
That's I feel that when people get stretched, where people should be thinking of how the subscription is going to be beneficial is when you first get stretched, if you don't do any mobility and you don't do anything on your own and someone puts you into these positions and you're like, this is
not always the case.
Correct. Well, it shouldn't. You're going to
same thing with massage.
Correct. You're going to progress from that, and you're looking. And correct me if I'm wrong. With as far as what you're looking for with the service is that you're looking to get past these little pain or tension thresholds of these positions that okay, this is where I need to work. It shouldn't always be like, ow, right?
Yeah.
I think
this is a good one. We should definitely talk about this in future podcasts.
Even the pain response when people get a Thai massage, like, I'm like, yeah, you have to get used to it. I can't just jump in and get a sports massage. Yeah. Unless it's routine. Every sports massage I've gotten where I'm like, I'm just gonna bite my teeth and let her do it. I've been so sore for days after.
It actually it could be a determinant to your physical performance.
Yeah, it's almost counterproductive when you do it like that. Yeah. So
train professional.
Yeah.
Train professional.
Exactly.
But yeah, guys, obviously one of our longer episodes, this is what happens when you have more stoic conversations.
Yep.
But it is important to have these kind of stoic physiological kind of conversations, and as it pertains to our environment, our gym, our overall wellness, and so on.
That's right. We hope it generates a lot of interest. Some questions.
Yeah.
Drop us a line.
Drop us a like, a subscribe. Hit us up on
where could they check us out?
Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcast.
Awesome.
Right. Make sure share with friends. Drop us a like. Drop us a comment. Tell us what you want to hear, and we'll make it happen. Really quick, make sure our sponsors, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Our sponsors that don't know we're sponsored, but
we have these at the front desk.
Yeah.
So brought to you by NOCO Carbonated Beverage and Celsius Post recovery drinks. The NOCO, I think, do they both have caffeine options?
Not all.
Not all of them. I'm a big plug person. The NOCO sour apple.
I'm a pichango.
Yeah, but that has no that
one has caffeine.
The apple has no caffeine.
The apple has no caffeine. The peach mango.
Yeah.
Pichango.
You like that one?
Dude,
right. Yeah.
It has a little caffeine. Like we thrive off caffeine. So
yeah,
it is an excellent drug.
100%. And then LMNT.
Dude.
Stay salty.
It has no artificial sweeteners.
No.
Every single time I talk about this, I'm like, man, I'm so intrigued by how good of a brand and how good their stuff is, right? Obviously, we have the little small individual packets up front to sell.
If I'm doing a lot of activity in the day,
this is our go-to, honestly.
I'm doing like 2 of these a day.
Yeah, I mean
Full dose.
We're in South Florida, sunny, or anywhere that it is hot. You should have some LMNT. Stay salty.
If you're running around all day, you're doing some chores. You're doing errands, you're coming into the gym, and then maybe you're doing a little casual game of pickleball, you are going to need about 2 of these. You're going to need the first thing that's going to go are going to be your salts, and then it's going to be tough to catch up with that. Just putting extra salt on your food, you got to replenish that, and it's not just the water you're losing; it's the water you're holding. So that's why the sodium is so good. Good product.
Yeah.
All right. Another
Pleasure.
episode. Thank you very much for being here. We'll check you guys on the next one.
All right, guys. Peace.